Came out a couple of years ago. I haven't actually had a chance to get my hands on one. Now Jason has bought one and has kept his Mark II. I really wanted to know why his stable looked like this, why he'd kept the Mark II and not got rid of it and just bought a Mark III. Today is my first driving one. I'm genuinely really excited about this. The four-wheel drive system, the linear power, I'm really interested to see what it's like. But I'm also going to take the Mark II out as well, because I want to jump from this into that into this and really get a sense as to why these cars are so different. That's the big question though. Are they as different as they are on paper? I want to know what this feels like in comparison to this and why people are sort of not favouring this over this. A quick rundown of both cars. This is a 375 kitted Mount Tune Mark III Focus RS. This one has the Collins Performance 400 brake horsepower kit on it, has an AirTech intercooler, it has all of the goodies, but still retains quite a lot of the original Focus flavour from this era. But let's get on the road. I want to find out what this one's like, then jump back in this one, find out what's the difference and which one I prefer. Jumping into Mark III now, my first real Mark III experience this. I know this car has been out for many years, but this is literally the first time I've really got my hands on one. Biggest change for me is the driving position in this Mark III. There's a huge difference in the cockpit layout and, you know, the way you're actually driving this car in comparison to the Mark II. That being said, it's not a bad thing. You have a lot more consuming around you in the cockpit. It's a nicer place to be because stuff's a bit more around the driver rather than sort of a flat surface. Performance wise though, that's what you guys want to see. You want to see the performance of this Mark III. So I've got it in sport mode. The grip is the first thing I'm going to point out. Grip levels are mental in comparison to the Mark II. There is so much grip. Yes, the four-wheel drive system is pretty fantastic on this car. You do get not a lot of slip from the front end that you would usually get in your Mark II, but you get the sense that the fizziness, maybe the classic RS-ness, I'm going to call it, is slightly lacking in a way, but not in a new car way. You know, you want the grip, you want the usability of all that power. You know, halfway through a corner, you can jam this thing down, and it couldn't care less. It's like, yep, we're going around the corner, it's happening. So the turbo isn't working its arse off and you're not waiting for power whatsoever. I think 370 brake horsepower, which this one has, is a good cap considering you're not waiting for boost. There's no turbo lag, so you do jam it into a corner, say second gear, my face will come off before this thing loses grip. Do you know, you have to look at the speedo because it doesn't feel like you're actually going as fast as you are, and then you realise you are. Tanking big time. Very well balanced car. Oh, it's a good laugh. And I have that Mark II right up my chuff, and I hate to say it guys, but I can't shake it. One of the best parts about this car, you forget that it's four-wheel drive. When you do come out of a turn, it reminds you in your head that you can plant this at any point. It is quite happy for you to abuse it in a corner where you wouldn't get that usually in any other RS. You would be a bit mindful of what you're really doing. You're very, very mindful of power, coming out of a corner, skidding, you know, understeering maybe. Just doesn't have any of that. On the road, you're not going to feel it, don't get me wrong, but it feels incredibly planted. That's the thing, it's planted. And it pops and bangs, it makes all of the pops and bangs. Ah. Jumping in the Mark II with the Mark III behind me, you get a different sense to this. The surge of power is so much more abrupt. There is a cheeky side to it where it wants to spin a wheel. And it ain't bothered about you knowing it. It wants you to fight that front end coming round and into any bend going. It just wants to squirrel around the road as you fight that torque steer, which is in effect what this is. It's a good feeling of torque steer because it's an old school feeling of torque steer, which I quite like. It just erupts though, this car. It erupts. Third gear, 4,000 RPM, the eruption. Just trying to hang on. That's the thing. You're hanging on to the steering wheel. You're hanging on to the boost as well. You're waiting for it in anticipation, and I like that. I like that. It's a bit more juvenile, and I appreciate juvenile, and I appreciate that. It's like it wants you to hurt it. It wants you to squirrel and. Yeah, that's a good car. Wow, so good. Traction control off, you don't fight against the car not wanting you to slip. You know, this is an old school feeling car, so you want the slip in there. Sounds very strange to the car guy that maybe wants something that isn't slipping around, that does a fantastic job at being a fast car. And that's what the Mark III is. It's a fast car wanting to go fast at every point, whereas that is the car that you want to daily drive. You want to go and enjoy with your friends, and you know it's not really ever going to hurt you, whereas this, you want to jump in it at the weekend. You want to have the fight of torque steer and a little bit more excitement, I suppose, rather than going fast. That's a faster car, no doubt about it. That's a faster car, whereas this is the fun car. This is the one that is the enthusiast choice, I'm gonna say. The thing is, I absolutely love that Mark III. The capability of that chassis, the way they've designed the four-wheel drive, just everything about it, it's such a mind-blowing machine. It's not really like any other hot hatch I've driven where it will let you slip a little bit, it'll let you have a little bit of fun, but it will get you as fast as physically possible down any B road you fancy. Whereas this is the other end of the spectrum. It's the fight of torque steering, the excitement and the fizz of driving. It's the waiting for boost, but when it comes, oh my God, it is pantomime of excitement going down the road, the pops, bangs. Whereas this is giving you a sensation of driving, the driver's car, the excitement, the boost, the torque steer, that's giving you what you want on a track, what you want to be doing with the car as fast as physically possible. Two very, very different cars. So the real question behind these two is, what are they really like to drive in comparison? Now, you've got the front wheel drive of this, you've got the excitement, the build of boost, and you know, when it does come on, it is just unbelievable. It's such a good car. But the Mark III, what a machine that Ford have made. Four-wheel drive, the linear power you'll get from that, and the driving feel that you'll get from the diff in the back and the actual tuck in when it comes round a corner, that can be driven by anyone really, really fast, whereas that takes sort of a more of an enthusiast and an enthusiastic driver. Begs the biggest question though, which one am I going to be driving back? Because I know that this is a good car and I've driven loads of them, and I know that at 400 brake horsepower, this is the best it can get. Any more than that, you know, it's a bit like that. Whereas this is, you know, not standard, but it's got the right bits on it. It's got the exhaust in that. So which one am I going to drive back? I think you all might agree with this. Yeah, it's this one. All day long.